MOWREH at the House of YISRA'EL of Jackson, Mississippi. Still working on his introduction. But MOWREH YOSAF and YISRA'EL. Let's all receive him by shouting hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to first give honor and praise to the Creator of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and all that's in them is. I greet all of you by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want all of our elders to please have a seat. We want to thank the Most High for giving us elders and leaders who have come before us. Truly, the Creator has blessed us because He gave us people who have stood the test of time. And only a mighty Creator who had the ability to put in us His law, His statute, His judgment, and His commandment. And He put it in leaders that taught us. So we thank the Most High for you. And let all of us say, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Everyone else may have a seat. Today we're going to talk about the land of Africa. Now, a lot of people might say, why would you talk about Africa? Why would you just say Africa? There are many countries in Africa. And what I'm saying is that I'm talking about black people. The land where black people are located. I don't care what they are called, what name they are called by, but I'm talking about the land where black people are located. Now we know that Africa was given to that part of the world by the Romans. But we know that our people called their names by whatever country they came from. And I want us to look at the table of nations, and we're just gonna deal with the ones that's talking about the countries that are located in Africa. And this is what you will find out. The countries that are located in Africa are the same countries that the Semitic people and Hamitic people lived in. They are the same countries. Israel lived in the land of Canaan.
Hallelujah.
Israel lived in an African country. And I want us to understand that Africa is where civilization started. In the land where black people are located. Civilization did not start in Europe. The first known white person was when Homer wrote his Odyssey in 800 BC, less than 3,000 years. No white folks were on the scene. When you talk about this Bible, you're dealing with black folks until you get to the New Testament. That's why I can't understand why anybody black would want to have anything to do with the New Testament.
Hallelujah.
We are dealing with places in Africa. So let's go to Genesis, the 10th chapter. In the 6th verse, it says, "And the sons of Ham," and that word Ham means burnt, or burnt face. Cush. Cush is what you call Ethiopia. And it just means, Ethiopia just means the place of the blacks, are burnt. In fact, they call all of the people in that part of the world, from Israel, Egypt, Canaan, Herodotus called them Ethiopians, the land of the black. Mizraim, Egypt. You got people thinking that Charleston Heston was Moses. Thinking Moses was white. Egypt is in Africa. Put Libya. Libya is in Africa. And Canaan. The land where Israel is located is in Africa. And there was no such thing as white folks being in Africa or in Israel during the time that this Bible was being written. During the time when the law was given to Moses up on Mount Sinai. It says the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah and Saptar and Reamah and Saptika, and the sons of Reamah, Sheba and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yah. In other words, he conquered nations. He was a great warrior. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad and Canaan in the land of Shinar. So we know that Babylon was started by a Cushite king, a black king. Abraham was from the land of Babylon and the land of Ur of the Chaldeans. He was born there. That was his nativity. He was born among black people. It says, out of that land went forth Asher and built Nineveh and the city of Rehoboth and Calah and Rensin between Nineveh and Calah, the same as that great city. Mizraim begot Ludan and Anamim and Leahabim and Netahim and Perushim and Kesluim, out of whom came the Philistine and Keturim. So we see that the Philistines are Egyptians, the people that David was fighting constantly in the land of Canaan. They were Philistines. And Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites, and the Girgasites, and the Hivites, and the Archites, and the Sinites. These are the nations of Canaan. And it was these nations that the Creator gave Israel their land, an African land. And the Arvadites, and the Zemarites, and the Hethites, and afterwards were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. the Canaanite was spread it all over the earth. Even in Europe. You ever heard of the Phoenicians? They were the first in Europe along with the Etruscans. Black people, before Europeans were even on the scene, they hadn't even come out of the Caucasus Mountains. Before they were in existence, black folks lived in Europe. And the borders of the Canaanites were from Sidon, as thou comest to Gura, and unto Gaza, as thou goest to Sodom and Gomorrah, and Atmar and Zebulun, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, and after their tongues, in the countries and in the nations. Here we have a land occupied by black people before Europeans, white Europeans, were in existence.
Yes, yes, yes.
And look at what the Creator say about Israel in Amos the 9th chapter and the 7th verse. In Amos 9 and 7, it say, are ye not as the children of Ethiopia unto me, O children of Israel? Says Yah, have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Captor? And as I said, they was Egyptians. And the Syrians for Ker. The Creator let us know that there are nations that is in that part of the world that is going to go back with us when we return to our land.
Thank you, brother.
And what I want to do, I want to be able to show you, because a lot of people say, well, white folks is going to go back and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. The white folks, when they go back, they're going to be our servants. That's not what I'm saying. That's scripture.
Hallelujah.
The strangers that's going to be among us is going to look like us.
Teach it, teach it, teach it.
The ones that's going to have part of our inheritance are going to look like us.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be white.
What a day, what a day.
In Psalm 6-8, in verse 31, listen at what it says and pay attention. It says, princes shall come out of Egypt, Ethiopia. Listen. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto Yah. Ethiopia is going to be serving the Most High. Sometimes we think that we are the only ones, that there is nobody else. But Yah let us know all through the scriptures that if anybody bring themselves to serve him, they will be just like sons and daughters. If they are willing to take on the laws of the Most High. Look at what the Creator tell us in Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter. When we are dealing with the Egyptians. In Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, in the 7th verse, it said, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Who are the Edomites? The Edomites went and lived amongst the Horites. You know who the Horites were? A Hamitic nation. They were an African nation that they went and lived among. Who are the Horites today? The people in Saudi Arabia. Then it say, thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of Yah in the third generation. We're not even supposed to hate an Egyptian, because an Egyptian we were servants in their land. And you know who they thought Moses were? When Moses went into the land of Midian, in Exodus the 2nd chapter, when he went into the land of Midian, the daughters of Jethro, the Midianite, the priest of the Most High, when they saw Moses, they thought Moses was an Egyptian. Because Moses was black, just like any other Egyptian. The attire that he had on was Egyptian, because Moses had fled out of Egypt. And Egypt was the superpower of its day. Egypt is the greatest civilization that ever existed. To this day, they still have not found out how they built those pyramids. They do not know how they got those blocks in position.
They won't obey.
Egypt was the country that had physicians and doctors, lawyers. And Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house. And it tells us in Exodus, the 2nd chapter, in the 19th verse, and they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flocks. They looked at Moses as being an Egyptian. And if they looked at Moses as being an Egyptian, they understood, like everybody else that was in that part of the world, he was black. And if he wasn't black, that means that the Most High didn't know who he was, because the first thing the Most High did to show Moses, look, if they don't believe nothing else, if I turn you white, they're going to believe that.
Sure enough.
If they don't believe nothing else I tell you. In Exodus, the 4th chapter, in the 6th verse, it said, and Yah said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leopard as snow. Now, the only way that this can be a miracle is that his hand was jet black. Because if his hand was white and he brought it out in his white, that's not a miracle. But he put a black hand in his bosom and it came out white. That's a miracle.
Hallelujah.
And I want you to see what the Creator said to Moses after he showed him that. And it shall come to pass, if they would not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign that they will believe the voice of the louder sign. Now, if they don't believe none of them other signs that I done showed you, certainly they're going to believe a man's hands turning from black to white. Certainly they will believe that. And then he says, and it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto the voice that thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. So the Creator let us know that Moses was a black man. That's the only thing that you can take from that. But that's not the only thing. Moses married an Ethiopian woman. He married a black woman. And the Bible is showing you the blackness that's in it. In the different nations that our people lived among. Look at Numbers, the 12th chapter. In the first verse. Because we have two miracles here. Well, we have several miracles, but two things that I want to show you. I want to show you that Moses married an Ethiopian woman. And I want to see you that the Creator turning Miriam white was a curse. It's not a blessing when you're white. That's what your enemy tell you. That's what the white man tell you. He the one tell you that everything that's good is white. The angel cake is what? White. And the chocolate cake is the devil's cake. Everything that's white is good. They tell you white means purity, which is a lie. But just look at it. A black cat is what? Bad love. Everything that's black is bad. But let me show you something. What color bag do a doctor carry? A black bag.
Yeah.
If you want justice, you got to go to a judge that have on a black what?
Robe.
They the one telling you that black is bad. White is the one that's bad and black is good.
Hallelujah.
Don't be fooled. Love who you are. Love your blackness. And love black people.
Show you right. Love who you are.
Because I don't care where you are on this earth. If you are black, you catching hell by the same man. The same white man that don't care nothing about where you're from or who you are.
Yes, yes.
Look at Numbers, the 12th chapter. In the first verse. It says, and Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married, an Ethiopian woman. They weren't against the woman because she was black. They was against the woman because she wasn't Israel. And they're going to try to tell Moses who he should marry. But you know the Creator don't play that. He don't play it. How you going to tell the Creator man who he can marry? And they said, has Yah indeed spoken only by Moses? Has he not spoken also by us? And Yah heard it. They say, look, Moses, you ain't the only one the Creator talking to. He done talked to us too.
What they said.
Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which was upon the face of the earth. And Yah spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out, and Yah came down in a pillar of cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If, and that's a real big word, if there be a prophet among you,
Yes, yes.
I, Yah, will make myself known unto him in a vision,
Yes.
and will speak unto him in a dream.
Hallelujah.
The Creator said, if there be a prophet, I'm going to speak to him in a dream or in a vision. My servant Moses, is not so. Who is faithful in all my house. Moses is the most faithful man in Israel. And you mean to tell me you're going to come up against Moses? He said, with him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. He said, with Moses, I'm going to speak plainly. You don't have to worry about it being a parable. You don't have to worry about it being a mystery. When I speak to Moses, I'm going to talk to him just like you and I talk. And he said, in the similitude of Yah shall he behold. The image of Yah he was able to see. Wherefore then, were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Now who else you know who was able to see the image of the Most High? Who do you know can see the Most High like Moses saw him? Everybody else saw him in a vision. But Moses saw him in a burning bush. Moses saw him in a cloud. Moses saw the image of the Most High. Nobody else can make that claim. And you mean to tell me you wasn't afraid to speak against Moses? And the anger of Yah was kindled against them. And he departed. The Creator just left. Because the Creator could have just wiped them out right there. Could have just killed them. But the Creator left. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leopard, white as snow. She became a curse. She became white. So when you see white folk, that's a curse. That's not a blessing. Why you want to be like them? Why you want to serve who they serve?
You teaching.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my master, oh, now he's a master. A few minutes ago, you talking against him. Who you think you are? I beseech thee, lay not the sins upon us, wherefore we have done foolishly. Don't put our sins upon us. We done foolish. And wherein we have sinned. And listen at Aaron. Aaron is acknowledging that what he did was wrong.
Hallelujah. Sure enough.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother womb. And even them coming up against him, Moses was so humble and so meek that Moses cried unto Yah, saying, heal her now, Yah, I beseech thee. And Yah said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? The Creator said, no, I'm not going to heal her right now. But I'm going to heal her because you asked me. But she going to be at least ashamed 7 days. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. So here we have where being white is considered a curse and not a blessing.
Don't you see? Don't you see? Don't you see?
There is no I hear people talking about Gentile, black folks hollering about they Gentiles.
They say they are.
The Gentiles lived in Europe.
They say Gentiles.
If you from Africa, you are not a Gentile. White folks are Gentiles. Now, at one time, they were black. But the people who live in that part of the world, they are white now. They are Gentiles. And let me tell you something. Moses was a man who knew the Creator personally. Moses is the man that brought Israel out of Egypt. The Creator's people came out of Egypt. They weren't talking about JC. Let's get that real clear. JC, it has nothing to do with him. First of all, if JC had been white, think about this. If he had been white and he going to black Africa and the Roman government is looking for JC to kill him, you mean to tell me you can't find a white man in black Africa? Now, it would be difficult to find a black man in black Africa, but it's not a problem to find somebody white.
Bring it to life, bring it to life. Bring it to the light.
Just common sense. But the Creator let us know that his people came out of Egypt. It says in Hosea the 11th chapter in the first verse, it said, when Israel was a child, then I loved him. And I called my son out of Egypt. The Creator called his son out of Egypt, out of the Nile Valley. And let's look at what happened to the Israelites when they was in Egypt. Just some of the things that happened to them. And let's see, is there any parallel with what's going on today? Because the same strategy that Pharaoh used in Egypt is the same strategy that this man have today. And I want us to look at the strategy. And then I want you to look at how many went into Egypt. And let me just say this. There were Israelites who went into Egypt that married Egyptians. Only 70 went in. Just like there was Israelites who married Canaanites. None of us are 100% pure. How do I know that there was Israelites who married Egyptians? There's a story about a woman who had a son whose father was Egyptian, who got to fighting with another Israelite and cursed the Creator and cursed the Israelite. And they got with Moses, and Moses wanted to decide what would happen to him. And they ended up killing him. So we know that there were Israelites who intermingled with Egyptians. Furthermore, we also know that there was others who came out of Africa, out of Egypt. There was non-Israelites who came and went along with Israel. Because what did they look at? They saying, look, all of us catching hell by the same man. So why not just unite? And we all come out together. Everybody will get their freedom. Let's not all, if we stay divided over here and they stay divided over here, they got us. But what is we unite?
That's good teaching. That's good teaching.
We can come out.
Okay, get out.
Let's look at what took place. Exodus, the first chapter, the first verse. It say, now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Yehuda, Yeshasakar, and Zebulun, and Benjamin, and Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased in abundance, and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Israel began to grow. What are we doing here? We are multiplying.
Hallelujah.
We are growing. And this nation is worried.
Oh, yeah.
He's worried because he see how we are growing.
Yeah, see. Yeah, too.
And listen to what it say. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Look at us. We are becoming more.
Yes, we are.
And more powerful.
Yes, them young folks powerful.
So what did the Pharaoh do? He said, come. Come on. Let us deal wisely with them. We can't do the things we used to do. So now let's be more wise.
That's what they're saying.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies. See, that's what this nation is worried about.
Yes, yes, yes.
They're worried about what if they unite with somebody else?
And they worried about it too.
And if they unite with somebody else, they will be more powerful
They already saying.
than what we are.
They already saying.
So if we can keep them down, let's keep them down. Because they might do what? Fight against us.
Don't you see?
They was worried about it.
They still worried about it.
So they are dealing more wisely with us now. So what are they doing? They making sure that we don't get the good jobs that we need. They give us just enough to barely make it. They are dealing wisely with us. They are making sure that we don't get the health care that we need. All you got to do is look at what's going around. We know COVID-19 is out there. Who is it affecting more than anybody else? It's affecting us. Why is it affecting us so much? Some of it we are doing to ourselves because of how we're eating.
So true.
But we are the ones that got the high cholesterol, high blood pressure. We are the ones that has the diabetes. We are the ones that have those diseases that this pestilence is eating on.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then we have doctors, white doctors, who see us coming because of their biases and prejudice, send us back home and just suffer peacefully at home when all of the white folks get on the ventilators.
You better see it.
They are saving them, but we are dying.
You better teach it.
We don't have the insurance that we need to go to the doctor,
Sure enough.
so they send us home.
Yes.
It is.
We are the ones that's paying the price. They are dealing wisely with us.
Sure enough, you're right.
They tell you the police officers, they are for justice, but they are the ones that's breaking our necks.
Yes.
They are the ones that causing harm to come upon us.
They transfer.
They are dealing with us very wisely. And we have to be able to see it.
Yes.
So he said, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And we see the afflictions. They make it where if we get sick, we can't even afford to take off our jobs.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have to try to stick it out. So our immune system become weak,
You're so true.
and we are paying the price for it. We are suffering because of it. And they built for Pharaoh treasured cities and Pathons and Ramses. But listen at what happened. But the more they afflict them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Praise mighty.
The more they try to bring us down, the more we multiplied,
Praise mighty.
the more we grew. And they was grieved because of the children of Israel. They are grieved because we are outnumbering them today.
Yes, yes, they are.
We are becoming the majority and they are becoming the minority.
Yes, they are.
So when we unite with another nation,
Huh. They shouldn't have scared.
we can bypass them. And we can put them under us.
Yes.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And that's what they're doing. They making us serve with rigor. with harsh punishment.
Yes, yes.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, listen to this, because you can see it, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of midwives to the Hebrew women and see them up on the stool, listen,
Kill him.
if it be a son,
Right, kill him.
then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Who are they killing here in America?
Men.
They are killing our young men
Yes, indeed. Don't you see it?
because they are being wise in what they're doing.
Don't you see it? That's what they told me to kill him.
They even doing it in plain sight
Don't you see it?
because they know that the system will allow them to get away with it. But listen to what the midwives did. But the midwives feared Elohim
Thank you.
and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive.
Praise Maria.
And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptians. They ain't like the Egyptians. They ain't like these women. For they are lively and deliver the midwives come in unto them. They be done already delivered.
Hallelujah.
Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses.
Hallelujah.
So he blessed those midwives for saving us.
Thank you.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Kill all the males, just throw them in the river.
That's what they doing now.
And they've been doing that for 400 years.
400 years. There's somebody
Throwing us in the river, killing us,
401 years.
because they are afraid of us. They are afraid of what we may do and how we may do it.
Yes.
So they are trying to take our lives, but the Creator won't let them. So we
Glory to the Creator.
have to do what the Creator tells us.
Yes, yes.
And listen to what the Creator tells us when we get ready to go back home. Look at Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, the 47th chapter rather. Because the Creator is giving us a blueprint, an outline of what we must do. Ezekiel, the 47th chapter, in the 21st verse. It says, so you shall divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. Divide the land according to the children of the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you. And to the stranger that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and ye shall be, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They're going to be just like you, born in the country. They're going to have the same law, the same rights they shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourn, there shall ye give him his inheritance, says Yah. Whatever tribe he's living in, that's the tribe that he get his inheritance in. Now, let me get this straight. As I said earlier, let me get this straight right now. We are not talking about white folks. Let's go to Isaiah. And it's a lot of places in Isaiah you can go to. But look at Isaiah, the 14th chapter, in the first verse. It say, for Yah will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. The stranger is going to be joined with Israel. And the people shall take them. Now this is the thing. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them. And the land of Yah for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressor.
Teach it loud, teach it loud. Hallelujah.
The Creator let us know we're going to rule over this man. So he's not talking about this white man being on an equal level with us.
Teach it loud.
And it shall come to pass in the day that Yah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. The Creator is going to give us rest from that.
Thank you, Father.
But this is the thing. Those strangers that are allowed to come in, look at what the Creator tells us in Leviticus, the 24th chapter. Because the Creator let us know that it's one law. In Leviticus, the 24th chapter, in the 22nd verse, it says, ye shall have one manner of law, as well as for the stranger, as for your own country, for I am Yah. One law. In Leviticus, the 19th chapter, in the 33rd verse, the Creator tells us, and if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yah, your Elohim.
Hallelujah.
And it's not talking about white folks. I want us to understand that.
Teach it, make it plain.
And this is another thing. When the Creator bring Israel back, he's going to bring other nations. And the Creator names the nations. He don't leave us blind. So we can just say, well, anybody can come on. That white man, he can come on in. No. Look at what the Creator tells us in Psalms 87. Because you have to understand, the Creator, he let us know that we was not going to be the only one that was taken captive. We are not the only one.
No, we're not.
In Psalms 87, we're going to start reading at verse 1. It say, his foundation is in the holy mountains.
Yes, yes.
Yah loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. The Creator say he loved the gates of Zion more than anywhere else in Israel.
Thank you, Father.
Glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of Elohim, Selah. I will make mention of Rahab. Who is Rahab? That's Egypt. And Babylon to them that know me. The Creator say, them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This man was born there. And of Zion it is said, it shall be said, this and that man was born in her. And the highest himself shall establish her. Yah shall count when he writeth, or when he register up the people, that this man was born there. Selah. As well as the singers, as the players on instrument shall be there. All my springs are in thee.
Yes.
The Most High let you know it's going to be other nations that's going to be there. Look at what the Creator say of Ethiopia. Look at Isaiah, the 18th chapter. In Isaiah, the 18th chapter, the Creator is talking about the destruction of Ethiopia. And look at what he says in the first verse. Woe to the land shattering with wings, which is beyond the river of Ethiopia, that sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bulrush, upon the waters, saying, go ye swift messengers to a nation scattered, and peal to a people terrible from their beginning. Here to a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. All ye inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when he lifted up an ensign on the mountain, and when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. For so Yah said unto me, I will take my rest, I will consider in my dwelling place, like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs and the pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches. They shall be left together unto the fowls of the mountain, and to the beasts of the earth, and the fowls shall summer upon them, and all the beasts of the earth shall winter upon them. Now listen to this. In that time shall the present, in other words, they're going to bring a present, be brought unto YAH'S hosts of a people scattered and peeled, and from a people terrible from their beginning, hereto. A nation melted out and trodden underfoot, whose land the rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of Yah of hosts, the Mount Zion.
Hallelujah.
They're going to bring gifts to the Most High. But guess what? What about Egypt? What about Assyria? Let's look at the 19th chapter. In the 19th chapter of the book of Isaiah, in the 18th verse, it says, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to Yah of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction, There's going to be 5 cities in Egypt calling upon the name of Yah. In that day shall there be an altar to Yah in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to Yah. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto Yah of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto Yah because of the oppression. See, that's what it's all about. We are all being oppressed. And he shall send them a Savior, and a great one, and he shall deliver them. The Creator is going to send us a Savior. And Yah shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know Yah in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation. Yea, they shall vow unto Yah and perform it. And Yah shall smite the Egyptian, and he shall smite and heal it. He's going to heal Egypt, just like he's going to heal us. And they shall return even to Yah, and he shall be entreated of them and shall heal them. Now, you know what this tell me? It tell me that apparently Egypt must have had somebody calling on them, because he say they're going to return. The only way you can return to something if you was calling on them in the first place.
Hallelujah.
It says, in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. And the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria. And the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land. Whom Yah of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hand, and Israel, my inheritance.
Hallelujah. Praise
So
God.
we are not going to be the only one.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yes, we can wait on Yah. But I'm reminded of a story of a man being out in the middle of the ocean, trapped, nobody to help him. And the man said, I'm going to wait on the Creator.
Yes, yes, yes.
Man came by. White man came by in a helicopter. Say, man, I'm coming to save you. He said, no, you can go head on. I'm waiting on the Creator. Chinaman came by and say, hey, I'm coming to save you. He said, no, I'm waiting on the Creator. Then you had a man from Africa came and say, look, I'm here to save you. He said, no, I'm waiting on the Creator. And the man ended up dying. And he ended up dying because he didn't realize that the Creator had sent somebody to save him, and he didn't accept it.
3 times. 3 times. That's what we are.
Sometimes we have to, hey, there go a rope. We need to grab it.
Hallelujah. Show you right. 3 times. They tell the devil.
I'm just saying.
3 times.
But look at what the Creator tells us. Look at Isaiah, the 56th chapter. In the first verse. That's why, you know, I care less whether I'm Israel as long as I know I'm serving the Most High.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Because let the truth be known. We all have mixed up blood. My skin is mighty light.
Yeah. I think too.
We all have mixed blood, some of us.
Oh, yeah. I ain't got none.
In Isaiah 56 and verse 1, it says, thus says Yah, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. But listen to what he said. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Keep the Sabbath, keep his law. He said, neither let the son of the stranger that has joined himself to Yah speak, saying, Yah has utterly separated me from his people. He said, neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus says Yah unto the eunuch, that keep my Sabbaths and choose the things that please me, and take hold on my covenant. Yes. Even unto them would I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than sons and of daughters. Yes. And I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Hallelujah. Also the sons of the strangers that join themselves to Yah, to serve him and to love the name of Yah, to be his servant. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountains, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offering and their sacrifice shall be accepted upon mine altar. For my house shall be called an house of prayer for all people.
Yes, yes.
Yah Elohim, which gathered the outcast of Israel, said, yet will I gather others unto him, beside those that are gathered unto him. So the Creator said he's going to gather others unto us. And we have to understand that black people all over the world are being oppressed.
Yes, they are.
And if we all unite, think about it. Yes. We are 2/3 of the people of the world. Only 1/3 in the last, 400 or 500 years has taken control of everything. What if we stop bickering with each other and unite? What can they do with us?
Show you right, my brother.
They can't do nothing
No, they can't.
with us if we unite. And I'm just going to say this. Now, a lot of people say that I'm racist because I'm always talking that black talk. I'm not a racist. Let me make that clear. But I am a man concerned about my race. And if you get offended because I speak about my people and tell my people the truth, then so be it.
So be it. Y'all got you.
Because I love my people. I love being Israel. And I love being black. And I identify with black people all over the world. I don't care who they are. If they are in the business of helping black people, I'm with them.
Hallelujah.
Because all of us are catching hell.
Show you, brother. Say it loud and proud.
And we all should be pretty happy about being black because the Most High was black. Yeah, the Most High was black.
Yes, yes. Praise God.
Jet black. He made us in his image. And after his likeness.
That's what he said.
And look at the description of the Most High. Daniel 7 and 9 say, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Daniel say, I looked until all of the kingdoms was thrown down. They were destroyed. And the Ancient of Days was sitting on his throne. whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like the pure wool. It wasn't that slick stuff, that goat hair stuff. It was like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Burning. A fiery scream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open.
Yes, yes.
We are the chosen of the Most High. May the Creator bless you and keep you. Hallelujah!